Hey everybody, it's Angela, and I just wanted to share this little altered cigar box that I made, and it was pretty much just a rough wood cigar box, nothing special, and so I wanted to alter it and make it into a little sewing box. I have a lot of sewing supplies, but sometimes when, I'm just sewing on a button or mending a tear or removing the label out of the back of a t-shirt or something, I don't really need my whole sewing kit out. So I just wanted to make just a little mending kit that I could kind of have out and on hand to do those little repairs and stuff. So I painted the cigar box white, used acrylic paint, painted all white, and then I used paper from this My Mind's Eye, The Sweetest Thing, and it's the lavender collection, and I got this from Vanessa at 77 Butterfly Love. Thank you, Vanessa. And I just used that to cover all my sides, and I did distress all the edges on it. And what I did was I put my paper down, I tore a few little holes in the paper and put another piece underneath peeking through, and I did that also here on the side and here on the back, except for this one on the side. I took some kind of teal colored thread and kind of sewed it back closed, and then I just left the thread with the needle and just kind of stuck it into this little cluster of roses and vintage doily, and all the roses are from Wild Orchid Crafts, and so I just did this little cluster here. Here's another piece of vintage doily, and all the little wood pieces, the wood buttons and spools and clothespins, are all from my Cocoa Daisy kits. And on this side there's a little card of vintage buttons, and I actually got this card when my local dime store was closing. I think it was a Sprouse Ritz store, if you've ever heard of them. It was a dime store, and they went out of business, I'm thinking back in the early 80s. And I remember there was you got 10 cards for $1 or something like that, so I had stocked up and bought a bunch of them way back then. And so now I guess we have dollar stores instead of dime stores. So much inflation. And then this little ribbon here with the measuring tape on it and this velvet ribbon were both from hot off the press. And since there wasn't a lot of depth in the interior lid, I didn't really have room to put a pin cushion inside, so I went ahead and made one for the top. And what I used was one of these little things, little storage container with glass in the lid. And I got a bunch of them at a garage sale, but they don't really screw tightly closed, so I never really use them for much. So I went ahead and I just used the bottom. That way when I put the stick pin in, it's going to stop and it'll be protected from shooting out the side or something like that. And then I put inside of that a piece of foam from this packaging, and I just kind of cut that out. And before I put it in there, I covered it with this little piece of pink cotton. And it's nothing extraordinary, but for me, this piece of pink cotton was actually my grandmother's, and I have some of her fabric stash and some of her old quilt blocks and stuff, so I used some of Grandma's fabric to do this, and so it has special meaning to me, and reminds me of the quilts that she made me and all the doll clothes that she sewed for me over the years. So that was kind of cool to be able to use that. And I put some more little ribbon trim that I got from hot off the press, and this little tiny pearl trim that I got from Tammy at Tatsy 2. Thank you, Tammy. And I'm just loving this because I had never had any of this before, so I'm having a lot of fun using it. And let's see, I just kind of scattered some of the Wild Orchid Crafts, some more vintage doily back here, and then a little needle threader on the top. And so that's the top of the box. And on the inside, like I said, there wasn't a lot of depth. It's just the piece of wood. And I wanted to save room inside the box. So I just kind of echoed the top with a little cluster of the same Wild Orchid Craft flowers, some vintage doily, some more of that velvet trim, and another clothespin. and then I covered the sides with patterned paper, and I covered the bottom with this larger ribbon rose, and I got this from Saw Crafters, and I used that to cover the bottom, and then this gives me plenty of room to put, some different colored spools of thread, a small pair of scissors, a tape measure, a seam ripper, and stuff like that, so that I'll just have a little mending kit right on hand and something that's, really cute. And so that is my finished project. I had a lot of fun making it, and it went together really fast. I like little small projects like this. So anyhow, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, just leave me a comment below. Thanks, guys. Bye.